Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kurt, for inviting me to be a part of this series. And it's wonderful to see you all. As Ashley said when we hopped on, people. So it's lovely to connect in this way. And I was really grateful for the chance. And actually, to start talking about my sustaining practice, I wanted to go back to the moment that I read Kurt's email inviting me to come and talk about a sustaining practice. And so if I take myself back to that moment, I think it was somewhat late at night, probably when I should not have been reading my email, but of course I was anyway. And I read the email, and my first thought was, oh no, I don't have any. I don't have any sustaining practices. I am hanging on one thread at a moment, one thread at a time, and oh no, this is really bad. Because right. So what I want to do is, I promise this is actually my sustaining practice, but this is where it started, right? I walked through this whole series of thoughts that started with, oh no, and went something like, I don't have any sustaining practices, and this is very bad because I'm a psychologist and I'm the director of the counseling center, and I'm supposed to be really knowledgeable about mental health, and sustaining practices and mental health really go together. And so this is terrible, and I'm a fraud, and oh my goodness, it's all coming out, right? This is going to be the moment that everybody figures out that I'm an imposter. And what happened next? So that probably happened at about 25 seconds, all of that spiral, right? And what happened next is I said to myself, well, you should probably slow down. I think you're spiraling a little bit. I think your thoughts are getting away from you. And I have come to be able to say that to myself with some patience and some compassion. So I'm not yelling when I say stop. I say just whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I think this is a spiral. And inviting myself back to the question, right? What is a sustaining practice in my life? And what has been quite sustaining through this unprecedented time? And what occurred to me, it was this lovely little light bulb moment where I thought, wait, this is exactly what my sustaining practice is. It is being able to think about what I'm thinking about. It's about thinking about what I'm feeling, and very compassionately being able to say to myself, what is the story I'm telling myself right now? And in this situation, I think in honesty and in fairness, it was probably about 45 seconds until I was able to get to this place of saying, wait a second, I'm not an imposter. I know something about this. I do this all day, every day. I would love to talk about feelings and how, if we're honest with ourselves and we use patience and compassion with the question, what story am I telling myself right now? That in fact sustains us. It sustains me. So the story, to go back to this moment, the story I found myself saying was very, very old. It had old roots. It was me as a first generation college student saying, they're going to figure out I really don't belong in this PhD program. They're going to figure out that that I doubt myself sometimes. They're going to figure out that sometimes this is really hard for me. And as a psychologist, what if they figured out that I don't have any idea how to do this? And when I could ask myself and ask myself the question, what story am I telling myself? And answer it with compassion, I was able to back myself out of that spiral and start to reconnect with the excitement I felt when I think about honoring our feelings, and honoring my own feelings is incredibly sustaining. So you might think that I'm telling you that my sustaining practice is talking to myself. And I guess I kind of am telling you that my sustaining practice is talking to myself. But what I really think I'm talking about is, and this is kind of an invitation I would love to extend, is giving myself permission to feel. And knowing that so often I have, and I think we collectively have feelings about our feelings. We make judgments about our feelings. And then we can spiral into stories that do not often serve us well. Okay? They may be meaningful stories, they may have deep roots, but they may not be serving us well in the moment. And so my sustaining practice is giving myself permission to feel and remembering that it's so often, one of my favorite kind of little quips to say is it's the feelings that we resist that tend to persist. Right? So the more I push those types of feelings away, the bigger they become, the more they get in my way, the longer that spiral would have taken. In some ways, as vulnerable as it is to tell you that I spiraled in that direction, I'm kind of proud to say that it lasted less than a minute. Right? There are other spirals that I have walked down through my life and my career that last longer, days, weeks, sometimes months, and it takes a lot more to pull myself out. But right now, what has felt sustaining is that permission to feel and ask myself, what am I feeling? What are my feelings about my feelings? What story am I telling myself right now? And trying to remember that if I continue to resist, this feeling is likely to persist. So again, I offer that as an invitation, potentially as giving yourself permission to feel, and be kind and patient and compassionate if you're able to ask that follow-up question around what story am I telling myself right now? What feelings am I having about my feelings? So thank you for that brief moment to share with you my sustaining practice. And I hope that some of you may pick up that invitation in the coming weeks as it's helpful.